All right, so here's the Stonelifting program. The first thing you're going to need to do is to make a copy. This is a read-only file. That way nobody can edit it, because otherwise people will be changing their own weights and it'll be showing up on everyone else's. So go to File, make a copy. Now you should be able to edit it. Okay, so it's broken down into 4 days over 12 weeks. There's no variance from week to week with respect to sets and reps and everything. I'm leaving that up to everyone else to do. 12 weeks is a good period for you to actually get used to the weights, get used to the movements, and build up some momentum. So I think 12 weeks is a good period to have this. You'll notice sets, reps, your rest is in there. Try and stick to the rest. There's a reason I put everything in there. Now, something I like to draw attention to is there is only 4 columns here for the sets. Now, what happens there is, for instance, this flat disc deadlift, or pardon me, where is it that I'm looking for? There we go. So incline dumbbell shrug down here. There are 4 sets, 4 sets. So it's actually an 8 by 8 at 30 seconds, but there's only 4 columns, okay? So it's just broken down into 2. So if you're seeing, for instance, down here, the neutral grip pull-ups, that it is 3 by 3, 3 by 3. It's actually 6 by 3, 6 sets of 3, right? It's just that there's only 4 columns. Didn't want to make, 8 columns and have it go all the way across the screen. It's just too annoying, especially on a cell phone. This is obviously being viewed on a computer. It will look slightly different. When you view it on a cell phone, when you go to click the weights and enter the sets and reps, there will be something that comes up. So this is the bar where you can enter weights in here. Now, what is going to happen is you're going to click on this and you're going to get some text on here. And unfortunately, you are just going to have to deal with that and delete that every time. I know it's not ideal, but it's the reality of working with Google Sheets. The reason I wanted to do Google Sheets is, instead of just writing out a program, putting on a piece of paper, is that I'm able to provide hyperlinks for you. So every single one of these exercises has a hyperlink, with the exception of strict press. Everyone knows what a strict press is. That's very, very simple. It also goes through it in the overhead press tutorial that I do here. The incline dumbbell shrugs says squeeze mid back here, but again, this is a double, and I have the information here. So it affords you hyperlinks when you use it on these Google Sheets. Now, it also does something that is a performance tracker. So if you look here, so week 1, let's say I did for the singles is 300s, and my body adapted quite well. So the next week, I was able to do 310, and that felt actually quite good as I moved up, and then we stuck with 315. So you see the actual total volume that you've done there, and you go to performance tracker and look at that. So week 1, week 2, week 3 goes all the way. Obviously, there's going to be zeros here because we haven't done those weeks yet, and obviously it's going to be blank down here because we haven't done those yet. But just showing here, week 1 with the flat disc deadlift, I did 1,200 pounds in volumes. Week 2, 1,255. We had a 4.58% increase. So what it is going to do, it's going to allow you to track your process as you go along throughout the weeks. And I just found that to be really, really helpful. I've been doing this a long time between powerlifting and strongman and all of the strength sports that I've done. And I just personally find the accountability of using a sheet like this is much, much better. And it keeps you more honest to yourself. And I just think it's a really good way to do it. So yeah, I've broken it down into all these weeks. Again, it's all very simple. Now, when you go on to, for instance, week 2, now week 3, last week's numbers are going to be in there, which is good because it gives you a comparison right off the bat without having to flip back and forth. And again, you'll just have to change it out. Not a big deal. I think I've broken these down very, very well. These programs, I put a lot of thought into these. Now, when you're looking to train for stone lifting without actually using stones, there's a few things you can do. I mean, you can just go for max strength, which some people do, but I don't find that's as useful as actually training the specific movement patterns and the muscles that are going to be directly affected by stone lifting and that you want to build up for stone lifting. So these flat disc deadlifts are the best for getting a stone off the ground, in my opinion, without using a stone. Zerchers are going to be very, very good for simulating the stand. The supinated supinated sumo pendlay row, very complicated sounding, but it's a really good exercise for working on that row power and that strength off the floor. Good mornings for your back. This is a great core exercise. And so, every one of these is going to do a very good balance of building strength, building power, building your tolerance for stone, because the grit that you need for being a good stone lifter is something you got to develop, usually through stones. I've done my best to try and simulate it with weights, but you can only do so much, but these will help. All the way down to day 4. So now day 4 is more of just an accessory one. It's more to make this a more well-rounded program. So the first 3 days are focused more specifically on the stone movement patterns and the muscles specifically being used, or the muscles you'll need for lifting stones. And these are just to help build a well-balanced body. That being said, things like plate curls, hammer curls, I'll go into detail on these hyperlinks here. These are also very helpful for bicep health, which is very important, and face pulls for shoulder health, forearm supination, all the accessory stuff. So these are going to be, the plyometric push-ups, rolling tricep extension, or just to keep a well-balanced body. The rest of these will as well, but they also are accessory to stone lifting. So yeah, I think that's it. Please let us know. There's one thing I'd like to add here, and unfortunately it's something I do preach a lot on the podcast, but you have to get out and find stones, right? So this program is designed to help people that do not have they're not readily available for stones. The best way to be, to get stones that are readily available is to go find them. You got to get out. So I would almost rather you take out day 4 and take that hour and a half and go for a walk, go for a hike, go for a weighted ruck, and go find some stones. Because truthfully, the best way to get at stones is to lift stones. This is just to help you until you can get stones. So please keep that in mind, everyone. Let me know what you think about the program. If there's anything you like, didn't like, I know the Google Sheets is not ideal. The reason specifically I did this, even more than the accountability, is I did look at many, many apps that allow you to post programs, but they're covered in paywalls. Paywalls for you to get access, paywall for me to post. And if I were to use, for instance, Train Heroic app, which is a great app, and to put all of this information and make it trackable there, well, they charge 30% of the program fee. So I would have to charge people just to be able to post that. And so is this ideal? It's not, but it makes it free. So anyways, let me know what you think, everyone, and I hope you enjoy.